Here's my battery compartment inside the front of my boat. You can see my Minn Kota sits right here. And then I've got 3 Group 31 Duracells AGM batteries, which honestly are still really good batteries. This set, unfortunately, I used them a little too hard and I only got about a year out of them. I've also got a Noco Genius, and that's an onboard charger. I just got this a few weeks ago and I really like it. I'm gonna do another video on that, watch for that. I'll put the link in the description when it's out. But it does normal lead acid batteries along with lithium batteries. And the one thing that I really like is it has a repair mode. So for these batteries that I had, they were basically dead. I wasn't getting anything out of them. I was able to run them through the repair cycle, and I'm at probably about 50% life of what they were new. So they're still usable for a few hours, but the life's definitely shot on them. So it's time to do something else to get some longer runtime. Before I hook that up to the charger, I'm gonna check with the Bluetooth app to see what my battery levels are. It's actually pretty cool. I've just opened up this app and you can see they just showed up automatically basically. So I have never done this yet. Just gonna refresh, click that, looks like it's gonna connect to it. I can see, okay, this one came at a 28% state of charge. The voltage is still 13.11, which is it's a good battery voltage level for a 36 volt system. So that's a good example where at 28%, you're still gonna be really close to your 36 volts, which is great. See, it hasn't cycled at all. So, okay, that one looks good. We're gonna go back and search the next one. That one's got a 27% state of charge. And the last one, it's got a 28. So they're all pretty close. So what I'm gonna do is just put the battery chargers on them and let them charge up individually without hooking them all together. Okay, I've got all 3 batteries hooked up independently. They're not connected together in series for the 36 volt mode. So we're gonna let them all charge up separately so they get at the same state of charge, charged up before we connect them together. So on this charger, right now it's in the off position. I'm gonna click it over to lithium, which is blue. Zoom in there on that. And you see they're just showing 1 bar, so they're low right now. At the same time, I'm going to open my app here and let's see what it shows. So open that first one. Looks like the charge switch is open. I should have paid better attention to what it looked like before. Well, there you go. You can see that it's getting power. 67 watts. The voltage is going up. It's got 510 current. So you can see right here, estimated charge time. That's pretty cool. Shows it's going to take about 9 hours and 18 minutes to fully charge. So having this app and getting these analytics are super helpful. That way you know how much time you have left, how long it's going to take. It looks like it's getting through its different things. So now we're down to 6 hours of charge time on this one. So we will just watch this, and once they're fully charged up, we'll come hook them, finish hooking them all up. Okay, so while this is charging, I'm just opening the app, checking it. A couple of really cool things that I noticed. So that charger that I have, that Noco charger, is a 10 amp charger per bank. If I look at the current going in, now that we stabilized and it's in a good charging state, we are at that 10 amps. And then I can look down and it shows the residual capacity of the battery, which means how much you have left, which is 32. So if you minus that 32 from 100, you're at about 68% out of 100. And then if you look at the charge time, so it should charge 10 amps per hour at a 10 amp rate. So all these numbers are adding up, and so we're about 6.5 hours because we have roughly 60 65 to 68% of the battery left to charge. So everything's matching up with what the battery charger says it should be doing, along with the charge rates that you should be getting. So it's actually really handy to have this app. It just is a good safety check to make sure everything's working like it should. All right, so these sat overnight. They're all charged up now. I'm gonna pull my old batteries out now and connect these in series. We'll put them back in on the charger and let them balance themselves out. So just a quick comparison of the new lithium battery versus the Duracell AGM batteries that I had. These Duracells, really they are still a good battery. I did get some good long life out of them. The challenge is if you discharge these batteries too much, you will ruin them prematurely. That's what I did. I would drain it down way too far every trip instead of only discharging to the 50 to 30% level that they recommend. I would take it down way too much as I tried to extend my day. So totally my fault, I think, that I didn't get more than about a year out of these. But I'm hoping that with the lithium batteries, I'm going to be able to get that full 100 amp hour usage. That's one of the big selling points of going lithium, is you can discharge them all the way without having the negative effects that you get from a lead acid battery. All right, so I just got these hooked up in series. Basically what that does is that takes three 12 volt batteries and turns them into a 36 volt system. Let's see if I wired them up right. We'll try turning my trolling motor on. Success. So I'm just gonna plug this back into the charger and let them balance, and they'll be ready for when we go out. So the next few clips that you're gonna see were taken from the first time I had my boat on the water using these. I took a couple screenshots and did some recordings of how the battery was performing throughout the day. If you also want to see the full video of this trip, it'll be available on our YouTube channel. I'm at power level 5. So right now I'm at power level 5, 1.3 miles an hour. You can see it's saying I've got 10 hours and 6 minutes of runtime. I'm going to bump up my speed. So actually I'm down to 1.2. So this is typical kokanee speed that I normally would troll, right around 1.2, 1.3. It's showing 10 hours of runtime. I'm going to bump this up to like 1.7. I'm going to go power level 7 on my trolling motor. And you can see real time how my estimated runtime drops. So I'm down to about 4 hours and 58 minutes. I think once it settles, it'll come back up. So I'm at 1.7 miles an hour again. And that triggers a strike right there too.
Yeah.
5 hours.
Little change. Yeah, this guy's got some head shake.
Okay, see when.
Come on.
Okay, so now you can see it settled down at 5 hours and 48 minutes. So far, we've been out for about an hour. I'm at 87% battery. The cool thing about the one I got is it's got a monitor on it, so you can look right at it. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. But you can see I'm at 87% right now. At the speed I'm going, which is 1.2 miles an hour, which is what I typically troll for kokanee. Power level on my remote is 4.5. It's showing that I've got 12 hours and 42 minutes left of battery, which is amazing. Before I was getting maybe 6 hours tops. So if it's accurate, we're looking really good. The other cool thing is if I bump up my speed, so it'll bump up to 7 on my trolling motor, that's going to kick us up to 1.5 to 1.7. I can look on the app and it immediately drops down. You can see that, oh, it's a burst of power. It's saying I got 4.5 hours. If I give it just a minute, that'll settle and I'll probably be somewhere in like the 6 hour range. So very, very cool to be able to monitor your batteries and see what level you're at and to be able to get the full usage out of these batteries. Super excited to try them. So now we just get a kokanee to bite. This is my first day on lithium batteries. They held up amazing. We were out for about 6 hours. Normally I'm trolling at about power level 4 on my trolling motor. I was up to 6 and 7 all day long because of the wind that we had. and we still have, I think I'm right at about 30%. You can see this little chart, 28, 30, and still have probably a good another hour or two of runtime. So definitely work for this trip all day long. One of the things that's really nice is just to be able to look in the app and see how I'm doing real time. So that data is invaluable. The next set of screenshots summarizes how the battery handled our first day out. When we first started, the water was calm. I was at power level 5 out of 10 on my trolling motor to maintain about 1.3 miles an hour. If you look at the power usage, you can see it was taking about 9 amps or 120 watts. As the day went on, it got windy, and we had to crank up the power to maintain speed. This day, we also found that the fish preferred about 1.6 miles an hour, so by the end of the day, I had my trolling motor set at a much higher speed than I typically would. Even given these conditions, the batteries performed flawlessly and lasted our whole trip, which was about 6 hours long, with about 30% to spare. If I had been using the AGM batteries, I would have only gotten about 4 to 5 hours max given the conditions, and that would be draining them much more than the recommended 50%. On top of that, I would have had to use my gas kicker to finish the day. And if you're wondering if we ended up catching any big kokanee that day, here's the proof. It was a great day fishing as well. Watch for the video of this trip on our YouTube channel. I'll also link to it in the description when it's available. Last, once I got back home, I plugged things in, and as you can see, it shows exactly how long it's going to take to charge back up. Overall, I'm very happy with the first day results. I plan on creating some additional update videos to talk about how they work long term. Hope this video is helpful. Make sure to check out the links in the description for where to buy these batteries, and also a complete trolling motor battery guide we have on our website. Thanks for watching, happy fishing, and tight lines.